Have you ever met someone who acts like they're the smartest person in every room? They always correct others, refuse advice, and seem convinced they're never wrong. But here's the surprising truth. Psychology suggests that people who constantly believe they're smarter than everyone else may actually be hiding something much deeper. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this behavior happens, what science says about it, and how to recognize it in yourself and others. Being intelligent and believing you're more intelligent than everyone else are two completely different things. Truly intelligent people usually understand how much they still have to learn. On the other hand, people who constantly advertise their intelligence often confuse confidence with competence. Psychology shows that the loudest claims about intelligence aren't always backed by the strongest evidence. One of the most famous psychological concepts explaining this behavior is called the Dunning-Kruger Effect. It describes how people with limited knowledge in a subject often overestimate their abilities because they don't know enough to recognize their own mistakes. Ironically, the less someone knows, the more likely they are to believe they know everything. Our brains love certainty. When someone believes they're always right, they experience confidence that feels rewarding. Admitting uncertainty requires mental effort and humility. That's why overconfidence can become a habit. It protects the ego from discomfort. For many people, acting smarter than everyone else is actually a defense mechanism. Deep inside, they may fear looking foolish or being judged. By appearing intellectually superior, they protect themselves from feelings of insecurity. Sometimes arrogance is simply confidence covering up self-doubt. Some people constantly try to prove they're the smartest because they crave approval. Every debate they win or every correction they make becomes a way to feel valuable. Instead of seeking knowledge, they're seeking validation from others. One major sign is poor listening skills. If someone believes they already know everything, why would they listen? Psychologists say active listening is one of the strongest signs of emotional intelligence. Ironically, refusing to listen often limits personal growth. Nobody enjoys being wrong, but people with an inflated sense of intelligence often react very defensively. Even constructive feedback feels like a personal attack because it threatens the identity they've built around always being the smartest. Healthy conversations involve learning from each other, but people who think they're intellectually superior often turn every discussion into a contest. Their goal isn't understanding, it's winning. Instead of exchanging ideas, they're trying to prove dominance. Even tiny mistakes become opportunities to show off. Whether it's grammar, facts, or pronunciation, they often interrupt just to demonstrate superiority. While occasional corrections can be helpful, constant correction usually serves the ego more than the conversation. For these individuals, intelligence isn't just something they have, it's who they are. That makes admitting mistakes incredibly difficult. If being smart becomes your entire identity, every error feels like losing part of yourself. Over time, this behavior pushes people away. Friends may stop sharing ideas because they expect criticism. Coworkers may avoid collaboration. Ironically, believing you're smarter than everyone else often leads to loneliness instead of respect. Research consistently shows that highly intelligent people are often more curious than certain. They ask questions, welcome different perspectives, and admit when they don't know something. Their confidence comes from learning, not pretending to know everything. Curiosity keeps the brain growing. People who think they already know it all stop exploring new ideas. Their learning slows because certainty closes doors that curiosity would normally open. Another psychological trap is confirmation bias. People naturally search for information that supports what they already believe, while ignoring evidence that challenges them. This creates an illusion of always being right. Many overconfident people prefer friends who agree with them. Constant agreement feels comfortable, but it prevents growth. Real learning happens when respectful disagreement challenges our thinking. Ironically, genuine success can sometimes create this mindset. A person who excels in one area may begin believing they're experts in everything. Success becomes a shortcut to confidence, even in subjects they've never seriously studied. IQ is only one part of intelligence. Emotional intelligence, the ability to understand emotions empathize, and communicate effectively is equally important. Someone may know many facts, yet struggle to connect with people. Many people mistake humility for weakness. Psychology suggests the opposite. Humility allows us to accept mistakes, learn faster, and build stronger relationships. It creates confidence without arrogance. Yes, self-awareness is the first step. When people become willing to question their assumptions and admit uncertainty, they begin replacing ego with genuine growth. The smartest people are often those who never stop learning. Ask yourself, do I interrupt people too often? Do I get defensive when corrected? Am I trying to understand or just trying to win? Honest self-reflection is one of the greatest signs of real intelligence. If you know someone who constantly acts intellectually superior, avoid turning every conversation into a battle. Stay calm, ask thoughtful questions, and don't let their confidence convince you they're automatically correct. Here's the biggest psychological irony. The people most convinced they're the smartest are often the least aware of their own limitations. Meanwhile, those who quietly question themselves usually continue learning and improving throughout life. You may notice that true experts often use phrases like "the evidence suggests" or "based on current knowledge." That's because deeper understanding reveals greater complexity. The more someone knows, the more they recognize uncertainty. Ironically, beginners often sound more certain than experts. People who constantly compare their intelligence with others rarely feel satisfied. No matter how smart they are, someone else will always know more in another area. This endless comparison creates insecurity, disguised as superiority. If someone truly believes they're smarter than everyone else, they may avoid environments where their abilities could be tested. They prefer conversations where they already feel knowledgeable instead of entering situations where they might learn something new. Constructive criticism helps people improve. However, individuals who strongly identify with being the smart one often reject feedback immediately. Instead of asking, "What can I learn from this?" they ask, "How can I prove this person wrong?" Humility isn't thinking less of yourself. It's recognizing that everyone has something valuable to teach you. People who stay humble continue learning throughout their lives because they remain open to new ideas and experiences. Knowledge is constantly evolving. Scientific discoveries, new technologies, and fresh perspectives reshape what we know every year. Believing you've reached the peak of intelligence closes the door to future learning. Real intelligence isn't measured by how many arguments you win or how often you prove others wrong. It's measured by your willingness to learn, your ability to listen, and your courage to admit when you don't know something. Confidence may impress people for a moment, but humility earns respect for a lifetime. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next psychology deep dive. And now we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever met someone who thought they were smarter than everyone else? Or have you ever caught yourself acting this way? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.